Hello, ladies and gentlemen, my dark knights. How you guys doing on this Thursday night? I just got done watching the new. Well, first of all, let me just say it's Gotham Day, baby. It is Gotham Day. It is back. Let me just say, as I'm looking over, the hair's looking nice, even though I do need to get it cut, which I will get it cut this weekend. But the beard is looking fine and fine, ladies and gentlemen. My goal to finally become to look just like Sheamus from WWE is finally coming into full focus. Now, how you guys doing? First of all, Happy New Year, by the way. Third day into January. I just wanted to talk for a little bit about. I'm back doing my usual after every episode of Gotham comes out. I normally do a live reaction or review of it immediately after it comes out. I know I'm about an hour or so behind, but I had to get home and everything. And I watched it at Clint's house. Me and Clint watched it together, and it's back. I've waited. I mean, I'm a little sad that we're not getting a full season and it's ending so early, and I'm kind of sad about it. But at the same time, I'm okay because I know that this is going to be a good season of, even though it is only 13 episodes. We were only supposed to get 10, and now we're getting 13. I will take 13 episodes. I will take that. Now, I do want to talk about a little bit, go through. Uh, Now, I'll try not to spoil anything, but I'm just going to let you know there's going to be parts in this. If you have not watched the last episode of Gotham, you need to, and don't watch this until you do, because I'm gonna spoil some parts on what happened in the last episode of Gotham, just a couple hours ago. So buckle in. Let's get comfortable, um, and we'll just hang out in the chat. And let's discuss some stuff. What you guys think is going to happen for this new season of Gotham? What is going to happen? And I'm going to just jump right into it now. It all started with a little mini recap of what happened. Um, Let me jump right into um, it's saying No Man's Land. Day 397 or 357. And it showed Riddler starting out at first. And I'm like, okay. I knew somewhat. Really, I mean, I've been following it, so I know a lot of the stuff that they've already talked about. Where it's going to be kind of almost a retelling, but okay, how did we get to this day? What happened before this day? Um, so it showed kind of like we saw in the trailer with Penguin, uh, uh, Riddler, Harvey, and Jim all getting on this big, humongous steel wall and saying for Gotham and firing at these mercenaries and these bad guys with tanks and all this other stuff. And I'm guessing that's going to be Bane's army. I'm not entirely sure. Bane's mercenaries, I don't know. But I'm gonna take a feeling saying that is gonna be him. That is him, or it's some kind of different force that we don't know about yet, or it's the government. I don't know, but I got a good feeling it is Bane's mercenaries. And then it flashes there, and we go back to day 86 or day 87. I think we jump. It goes to day 87, and it shows into Jim Gordon sitting on this intercom talking to the government, telling him, "We're not bringing anybody over, Jim. It's not happening. You guys are on your own." And he's telling him, "Well, it's a war zone out here." Um, Kind of telling them what happened, and then saying, "Well, Penguin's in City Hall. He's creating guns, creating ammunition, very crappily, might add. Um, Barbara and Tabby and all the are in the Sirens Bar, and they are basically running that for protection for women who were left in the city. And I guess guys can get money or something. I forget what he said mostly, but And then Scarecrow has his own place, and he was straight up crucifying people. Okay, eat your heart out, Jesus, because this guy was literally crucifying people on crosses, literally hanging them up on crosses. That was what Scarecrow was doing. And and then I think he said Firefly is feuding with Harvey, or not Harvey, Mr. Freeze's area, but Mr. Freeze's area is actually above. He had a whole map laid out, and then they're in the middle of it in the GCPD, and they run like a 10 block radius. They were holding like a 10 block radius of around GCPD, and they have about 150 refugees. He said that they were trying to take care of, and it was only a matter of time before they ran out of food. And that they did establish that in the beginning, because there was fights amongst the other people saying, "You're not going to feed us. You're not going to feed us." And even Penguin made a trade with Barbara and Tabby and all of them to get steak. He sent them like 2,000 rounds of ammunition for steak, um, for a whole bunch of steak. But it was all for him because, of course, it's Penguin. He's gonna take it all for himself and his. Um, and it shows because later in the episode, I guess it's the broker. I'm almost pretty sure it's the broker. Um, he told Penguin he's losing people left and right. He's losing workers. Another worker died because of and they're not working properly because they're not being fed well enough and everything else. And while he's sitting dining on a steak, and the funny part, which I found hilarious, which I kind of heard because I followed people that were discussing about the thing, or about the season 5 coming up. He named his dog Edward after the Riddler, Edward Nigma, and I found it hilarious. That was my favorite part in the whole entire episode, except for what comes up later. And basically, how it works out is Selena is still paralyzed from the shot that Jeremiah gave her in season 4 that paralyzed her. Kind of like a call out to uh, what's the comic I'm thinking of? The Joker comic, The Killing Joke. Kind of call out to that, where Joker does do that to Barbara Gordon. But this was kind of Jeremiah Valeska doing it to Selena, and Selena's taking this very hard. You can kind of see. Now, I did hear that she does try to commit suicide. I didn't know they were going to do it so early. She tried to pick up the scalpel and cut herself and kill herself. I did not think they were going to go that dark. I honestly did not think they were going to touch on something like that. But they did. And, I mean, and it felt real. It really did feel real because she said, Jeremiah should have killed me. Because he paralyzed her. Jeremiah should have killed me. And you can kind of tell she was really having a rough time with it. And then, second time when she tried to commit suicide, she said, "You should have let me kill. You should have let me die. You should have let me kill myself." And Bruce is just trying to protect her because he loves her, and like he got her the best doctors to help fix her and make sure her spine didn't turn to jelly, so she could. I mean, she could still move around and somewhat. She wouldn't be able to walk, but at least she could do stuff. And this one nurse kept telling him, "Hey, go see the witch. These doctors aren't going to help him. Go see the witch." And I think that's how she's going to get these powers, these cat powers, and be able to become Catwoman and be able to walk around and stuff again. But I think it's also going to make her a little unhinged. Um, that's just me. I just see that. Now, I did get to see Bruce Wayne proto Batman mode, up against, because there was a part where um, infiltrated the GCPD's area where they were stationed, and to steal different supplies, food, whatnot, medicine, different stuff like that. And Jim Gordon and Scarecrow go at it a little bit. Jim absolutely destroys Scarecrow. I'm sorry, Jonathan Crane was never a good fighter, even in the comics. He was more of a psychological person, but his goons were actually downstairs while they were doing surgery on Selena's back before all this stuff happened with her trying to commit suicide. Um, he actually goes down there with these night vision goggles and he destroys them. Full out Batman fashion. Bruce went and I was just so hyped at this moment because I'm thinking to myself, okay, this is the moment I've been waiting for. You know, we finally get to see Bruce Wayne, and I think this is the season we're going to see it more than ever. Bruce is going to really take that Batman persona, the fear factor, in where he, you know, kind of like, and how the fight kind of went. He took out one guy, took him away from the group. They were kind of a little shaky at first. They're like, okay, what's going on here? And then he took out 3, 4 guys, and then there's just one guy left and he just drops down, gets ready to take him out, and he runs away. And because the lights turn back on, and they all ran off. Um, so and they were successful stealing like different food and stuff. Well, that was all the GCPD's rations, and they were down to maybe 2 weeks of food left. Maybe if they rationed it and half rationed it, maybe 1 week, maybe two. So Bruce called in somebody and called in a supply chopper because he is a billionaire. And you think that would go right? No, not in Gotham. It never goes right. Well, it didn't. Someone shot it down with an RPG. I'm going to say Jeremiah Valeska because, you know, they asked Penguin later in the episode. He doesn't know. He said, besides, if I would have did it, I would have owned up to it. um, I would have took credit. And I gotta say, Penguin is way more cocky in this. Just the one episode I saw, he seems way more cocky than he used to be. I kind of like it because we've never really seen that out of. I mean, I've never really seen that of Penguin out of seasons prior. So I'm kind of hoping this season we see the Penguin that I know, where you know he's we've seen the rage in Penguin, like kind of he's used to that Cobblepot's used to, but we've never seen like the cocky Penguin, where he's he'll own up to what he's doing, because he can, because he's Oswald Cobblepot. And if you take what's his, he'll kill you. He saw well, what happened is they go down to this helicopter, and of course these Lost Boys who were there, the Low Boys, first of all, they had no screen time whatsoever. They were on for 5 seconds, and Penguin kills them all. And of course, Penguin tries to take all the stuff, and GCPD rolls in at the perfect time to take all that stuff. They negotiate, try to get a deal where they can get all the stuff, and then saying, "You shot down the plane." He said, "No, I didn't. And if I would have did it, I would have owned up to it, like I said." And then an arrow shoots through 2 of the guys, and I'm like, we doing a crossover episode with the Green Arrow? Like, what's going on here? Like, I honestly thought for a second, I'm like, the Green Arrow? What, are we going to have Stephen Amell come in here? And then we saw Tabby. Because obviously they wanted that helicopter too, because they heard the helicopter, Penguin heard it, and then Tabby and them heard it, and GCPD was already going out to go get it anyway because they saw it go down. And, well, the reason Tabby wanted to kill Penguin, because you guys didn't know, in the last season, Penguin promised, at the time, Grundy, who was Butch, to bring him back to normal. And he did. And then he shot him in the face. He was doing a pilot show for Batgirl, Ruby Rose. They already kind of did it, Clint, because with the Elseworlds, they had her in. I think they had her in that to just show her off. They did the same thing with Supergirl. They showed her off, and now they're gonna do a show with her in it, and I think it's really gonna hit off. I'm really excited for the Batwoman because I do want to see Are we going to see some Batman? Because that would be a good way CW can take, Gotham when it's done and turn it into a Batman show, if they wanted to. Which I don't see it happening, but Arrow's. I think Arrow's close to being done. Why not take it and do something with it? It'd be a good thing to cool thing to do, or just do put David Mazouz's, whatever. It's I don't know what their plans are with that, but I'd be down for a show like that to watch Batwoman. I need to watch. I haven't watched Arrow, because she's in the Arrowverse, which is like Arrow, Flash, Supergirl, and now Batwoman, and the Legends of Tomorrow. So they're all in this one universe. Um, but I don't know how much they'll show Bat. I don't know if they'll show the whole Bat family. But back to what I was talking about, Gotham. They Tabby finally gets his hands on Penguin, and earlier in the episode, she put bullets in her gun from that they got from Penguin. And what you need to understand, I'll discuss this a little bit. Earlier in the episode, they were having trouble making the bullets, because a lot of them were misfires, I think he called it, because of the workers not working on them properly, and malnourishment and whatnot. But what it was she finally gets his hands on him. So remember that statement. She has his hands on him. Finally has his hands on him. And has his gun pointed to him, and he said, "I know you're sorry about Butch." And she goes, "You killed him." And he goes, "Well, you kind of," well, he's like, paraphrasing, "Well, you kind of killed my mother in front of me, so, an eye for an eye. You stabbed my mother in the back, so I didn't want to kill Butch, but you know what? I kind of had to do it back to you because you did it to me." And I mean, not saying two wrongs make a right, but he was kind of right, because, I mean, really, at the end of the day, I mean, he was just getting revenge for what she did to him. Not saying that what he did was right, but he was, at the end of the day, he was kind of, he had a logical point, and she wasn't having it. She said, "Shut up and die," and she clicks the gun, and it's a misfire. He goes, "I am gonna have a problem with my foreman when I get back," and he pulls out this knife out of his bad leg, and he tries to stab Tabby with it. And then he eventually does stab Tabby with it, and he kills her. I'll be honest, I didn't know that was going to happen the first episode of season 5. I did not see that happening. Did not think that was going to happen. Um, did not think that we were going to have a moment where she was. I thought, honestly, Penguin was going to get that injury where he gets the monocle and all that, or whatnot. But I did not think the first episode of season 5 we were going to have a situation where Tabby just died. Now, she's kind of a secondary character. She's not really a big character in the whole entire. She's not a main character like Barbara and all them are, but she's more of a secondary character. But it still sucked to see her die. I mean, like, is this the kind of season we're gonna have? Is people just gonna die left and right? Like, I don't know, but I really hope that's not how the season goes. Um, I will say I did like how they make the city literally look like it was in shambles. I will say that. Like, I mean, and honestly, there's parts of Gotham even in the comics that look like that because of what happened, and they kind of adapted the No Man's Land story, which kudos to the people that made Gotham. By the way, I'm sorry if you heard that noise and stuff. My family's moving around, and they were coming down in here to do stuff. Um, but I do like how they did it. I know some people I was looking on. I'm connected to this Gotham group on Facebook, and they were saying about how um, they they were upset how the at first they said the Gotham is really sinking like a Titanic, and I'm like, what are you talking about? It was a good episode from what I saw, but I mean they were talking about the city, and then I figured it out. I'm like, okay, and it did. The city looks like crap, and I think it's only gonna get worse. But they're gonna need a sort of Batman, and see how what happened is back what I was talking about the fighting. There was a big fight for this equipment from the helicopter, and they're trying to get this equipment, obviously, and Barbara walks in right when Tabby dies. Forgot to mention that. And of course, it fuels her fire. Tabby's her best friend, and you just killed her best friend. Stabby Babby is gonna come after you. She even says, "I'm going. If it's the thing I do, I am going to kill him." And she got really dark. Like she says, "I'm going to feed your entrails to the rats." Like got dark real quick. Like I mean, she was normally that dark at times in the series, but not that dark. But and he even said, like, Penguin even said, he goes, "Can we put all this behind us now? This Butch Tabby situation, it's over, it's done with. Can we just go back to being partners? Can we just go back to working together like we have been?" And then she says no. And he was gonna kill her. And Jim comes up and says, "No, that's not gonna happen. You're not gonna kill her. We're gonna make a deal." But what he didn't know was Bruce snuck out into this van where these two Penguin guards were at and took them both out and stole some ammunition from them and took it from them and helped Jim because they were all out of bullets before that. And he stole some bullets for them and took them back to them. So Penguin didn't know this at the time. So he's walking up to him, and I've never seen, like, I know in the first season, did he shoot and kill Penguin, or did he make it look like he shot and killed Penguin? I think he made it look like he shot and killed Penguin. But he really didn't kill him. Since season 1, I've never seen him shoot Penguin. He shot Penguin in the leg. He shot Penguin in the leg, and then he killed his two other his accomplice, and left one left with his weapon. And he says, "Yeah." And he goes, "Yeah, I lied. I have ammo." And he goes, "Oh, and better idea. We're just gonna take all that stuff now. Thanks." And they got some more stuff, and now they'll be able to last for the next 6 weeks. So that's good for them. For episode 1, this was very good too, by the way. And Penguin goes groveling back like a dog, has to get the bullet taken out of his leg, all that stuff. And then we had a very interesting thing happen. They're back at the GCPD. Everything's okay. Well, first of all, Bruce is back at the hospital after the whole suicide attempt thing, and the nurse says, "I told you, go to the witch." And he's like, "Where is this witch? I need to see her." And I think the next episode he's gonna go off and see this witch, and get what he needs for Selena. And then this little boy came over, and said something about this person is working us to death and killing us, and he said that, he goes, "We're here to protect these people and give them hope." He goes, "We need to go out there and save those people." And he says, "Suit up," and they're going to suit up, but he goes up to this thing, and it shows a very familiar mask. And if you guys watched last season, Echo is, I guess, the proto Harley Quinn now. I don't know what her whole method is. I don't know if she is Harley Quinn now. I don't know what her whole thing is, but we'll just call her proto Harley Quinn. But Echo was in her mask, and she took it off, and she was actually looked normal. To this point, she'll probably start cracking later in the season. Um, but uh, she looks at the map that Jim had. She just looks it over, and I guess then you see Jim walking up, and he hears someone. There's someone over across the river for you. You're not alone. There's people across the river here for you that'll help you. And he goes, "Wait, who are you talking about? Who is this?" And they don't say anything. So I'm wondering if it's, people like, if it's Bane talking, if that's, or if that's Poison Ivy, or, you know, Hugo Strange and all them that's speaking. I don't know. We also had some cool moments with Riddler too. Um, Edward is taking control of the Riddler's body now while he's sleeping. It's not the other way around like it was in the first couple seasons. It is now the other way around where he is taking control of him. Now I want to know first of all how he got brought back to life. And I think they'll delve into that in the later episodes. But I want to know what happened with Edward, because the only thing we get introduced to Edward Nygma again is just he's just sleeping on a couch, and poof, he awakes, or then he just wakes up in a dumpster. It was very that was the only really questionable things I had in my head about the episode that I didn't like. But it was okay. But the last thing that I saw in the episode, which I think is going to be an indicator for what's going to happen in the next episode, he comes up, Jim comes up, and he's like, someone was up here, I thought. And he looks down at the map, and it has the Joker eyes and that laugh, that the ha 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 in the shape of a laugh, and in shape of a smile. I mean, so I really think in the next episode in episode 2, we're gonna see Jeremiah again, because they haven't heard from him. They said in the episode they haven't heard from him in like 3 months. So it's been a while since they heard of Jeremiah. There's been no sign of him. So I think he's gonna rear his ugly head again. And they showed a little bit what's going to happen in this season. And I'm pretty sure I saw Wayne Manor on fire, which that's a scene straight out of the comics, where Bane literally destroys Wayne Manor. Now, I don't know if that's just a certain building or that's Wayne Manor, but it looked a lot like Wayne Manor to me. And if that's the case, it looks like Bane is probably going to come after Bruce. I'm hoping not, but it looks like Wayne Manor is going to probably blow up. And it looks like some other things are going to happen as well. And then at the end, we saw another glimpse of Batman. It was kind of like the way it was in the Michael Keaton movie, where you saw him through the smoky pillars of the chimneys and the different stuff on the rooftops. That's the only thing you really saw. But as a fan watching it from the beginning of this, from the very first episode, I was excited because this is what I've been waiting for. Finally Bruce Wayne to show that he's Batman, to finally see him in his full glory. And then they show the big confrontation between Bruce and Jeremiah over top the thing of Ace Chemicals, and I really think that Jeremiah is going to be thrown into the pit, or thrown into the vat of chemicals, and he is going to become the Joker. Because it's the last season. I think Warner Brothers is just going to let him go with it, let him do it. Because what are they going to do? They're done after this season. They can buy him out next season anyway and roll it up in a bow and make it their own show if they want. But that was basically the whole episode. I graded it an okay B plus, maybe B minus. It was okay to start out. They're building it, and for an episode 1, it didn't do a whole lot. It didn't overwhelm you, but it it didn't overwhelm you, but it didn't do too much where it felt like it was over, like putting too much on you. If that's what, you know, if that's what I wanted to say properly. But but yeah, that's basically the whole episode. I'm super excited for next week to see what's going to happen. Please check in next week when I do discuss. As soon as the episode goes up, I will go live and discuss, and we'll make some discussions. Let me know what you guys thought about the episode. If you guys want to talk about it, we'll do a little discussion about it here right now. If you guys want to, what was your favorite part from the episode? If you watched the last episode of Gotham, that was just up in the chat or different stuff like that. Um, I'll be honest, my favorite part was how was just seeing Bruce Wayne do the proto Batman stuff again, and just see him like actually physically full bore, like looking like Batman in the way he fights. That's just more or less the thing for me. And we did at least see one villain fight the other people in Scarecrow. It wasn't long, but it was something. Um, but yeah, we got to see his crew at least. And I think Scarecrow is really, really unhinged at this point. Because I found it really funny. There was one part where Scarecrow sprayed a guy with his fear toxin, and it literally looked like they just put a Snapchat filter on Scarecrow because his eyes got all big. You know the one where your eyes get all big and your face gets real small? That one. That's what his face looked like. I'm like, okay, that's actually really like poor, like poor stuff, or they just basically just, you know, I don't know. Or they just basically just said, "Hey, let's just put a Snapchat filter on this. It'll look funny." I I don't I don't know what their whole plan was with that. But, well, anyway, this is all the time I had for this time. If you guys did enjoy this kind of, episode of Gotham review, please go ahead, hit that like button, hit that bell on the side too if you ever do want notified when I do another one of these, or do different lives like my NFL lives, different stuff like that. And I will see you guys in the next one. Stay awesome, my Dark Knights.